What's up, guys? Let's fix the Dyna, get it on the road, and ride it for the first time with all that crap taken off of it. So if you're tuning in for the first time, the last video we took all the stuff off the bike. It had big Viking bags, it had a backrest with a luggage rack, bigger seat, it had a windshield, it had air shocks. We put all that back with the stock parts that we got with it, and we haven't really ridden it yet. So the only thing we have left to do is we need to fix the hardware situation on the rear fender. That was missing a bracket. We picked one up on eBay. Hopefully this will work. And we got some new hardware for the rear fender, so let's throw that on real quick and then go down the road. All right, we now have two brackets, one on each side, and way cooler hardware. We got this ARP style hardware from IMZZ Elite. I don't know how to say that, but they got a couple different bolt kits for the bike. We used their bolt kit for the rear end because we had nothing that was going to work. I threw it together with just some random stuff I had laying around. But now that we got everything correct, we'll throw the seat back on and we'll take it for a ride. We're going to go to my buddy's house, and the road leading to his house is kind of a very nice twisty curvy road. It is a road I want to use going forward for like comparing different modifications for this build. So since this is about as stock as it's going to get for the parts we have, let's go ride it down that road and see how she stacks up for its first shakedown run. Very seldom do we get caught by the train here. I guess I'm just lucky. It's pretty short. But we got some gas. We're headed to my buddy's house. I can already tell the bike is short. I'm not in love with the stance. I'm not in love with the sit, the fit, all that stuff. But those are all things that can be improved upon, and improve we shall. Alright, let's see how old girl does getting on the highway. Does just fine. The suspension definitely leaves a lot to be desired. The rear suspension, now that I've put the stock shocks back on, is very tight. Front suspension still worn out. The seating position, as I got the stock seat back on, it sits too low. Not by a lot, just a little bit. I did prefer the aftermarket Saddleman they had. It was like some touring seat. It looked ugly, but it performed pretty well. Kind of like me. But I'm going to assume once we get up on these twisties, the bike's really going to show its flaws. And I'm pretty sure the seating position and the shocks are really gonna, that's really where it's gonna show that they are not up to par. But what I can tell you is we're gonna be able to put this through its paces for the most part. Although our rear brakes leave a lot to be desired. Alright, coming up on a tighter left-hand turn up here. Alright, this bike can take more speed. Okay, the bike can definitely take more speed, so that's good. It's a lot more stable than I thought it would be. It does bounce a lot, so that does make me very nervous. But it's very good at pulling out of the corners. Okay, it did really well. I used to throttle through this a lot faster in this section, but now it's a four-way stop, so you really got to be careful. But the bike did a lot better than I thought. The shocks are making me very weary on some of them turns, mainly because of the bumps and just uneven sections. The bike wants to wiggle a lot. You've got a very firm rear suspension and a very, very loose front suspension, mainly because the rear shocks are super tight and the front shocks are blown out. But it didn't do that bad. I think the riding position, more than anything, really inhibited me because I didn't feel comfortable really laying it down. My feet were very close to the pavement. I didn't have much more lean angle to go. But overall, first ride down that road, or up this road, however you want to say it, not bad. Definitely can be improved upon, mostly for a feel, but the bike did it pretty good. So we're gonna go to my friend's house and see what he's got going on. All right, at my buddy's house. We've been here a little while. Bike did fine. There's Otto. He looks aggressive. He is not. What's up, buddy? Alright, he's pulling the bike apart. This thing is going to go to paint eventually. I guess we didn't have to pull all that stuff apart. Don't lose it. But, yeah, there's a lot to do. Hopefully this will get him to maybe redo the front end. We got Beefy Boy trying to work. The handlebars are probably a little loose. Need to work on that. A lot of work to be done. Hopefully we'll be able to come over here and record most of it. But definitely going to be a winter build for this thing right here. Most of the paint's going to change. Should be a pretty good one. Alright, we're headed home. I stayed at my buddy's house a little later than I wanted to. It's getting dark. It's pretty cold. We should be okay. I got a windbreaker on and we're rocking our leather gloves, so it's not that bad. But definitely later than I had planned, but I mean, isn't that how it always goes? So we're gonna run home. I'm not unhappy with the way the bike performed today. It's definitely a little too blah. The suspension, it needs a complete suspension overhaul. It definitely needs different handlebars set up, different pegs set up, different seats eventually. The brakes need to be done. It's not bad, it just needs one of everything, right? But yeah, let's get home. All right, made it home. Definitely a cold ride. Thankfully we had on our windbreaker and those leather gloves. It was cold. The bike definitely needs some improvement. The front suspension, 100%. We left this cover off because we had to jump it off to get it going. The battery is definitely on its way out. Probably first things this really needs is at least the rear suspension, front suspension for sure, but that's going to entail a couple other things, and probably a new battery. But overall, we got a really good basis and a really good start of a bike for a build, so can't complain there. The bike's not bad. It's pretty solid. It's not terrible. It's not a bad start. You did get to see my buddy Justin's Street Glide. Hopefully that'll be in some different videos. We'll leave that in for this one. We're kind of talking about paint and tearing it down to do some things, but hopefully be more videos of that. But if you're interested in that and this Dyna, hit that subscribe button if you don't mind. Like this video. What do you think of our progress on our bike so far? We haven't really done much. We just kind of stripped her down and kind of made her back stock-ish, or stock as we can get, and trying to find out all the problems and the things that need to be changed. Comment down below what you think we need to change, and what's the #1 thing you would do to this bike. But if you don't mind, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it. And as always, keep it wretched.